manage this. I'm Steve Nasatir, and I really am very privileged and honored to present this year's Mandlekorn Award to my dear friend and colleague, Alan Gill. How does one compress a lifetime of accomplishments in just a few minutes? We really could be here for the whole session and then some, enumerating all of Alan's achievements. Since those of us who have been in Jewish communal service for a long time already know, respect, and admire Alan, I'd like to really address my remarks to some of my younger colleagues here. At the risk of sounding patronizing, I can't tell you how thrilling it is to stand up here and see another generation of Jewish communal service workers. It's really terrific. Simply put, Alan Gill is a giant in our field. He's a passionate Jewish community professional. He loves what he does, and he does it extremely well. He has always known how to translate his passion into action. This singular quality was very clear when he served with distinction at the Columbus Federation. Alan had earned his BA in Psychology and Sociology from The Ohio University and Master's in Social Work from Ohio State, where his professor was none other than the esteemed Ben Mandlekorn, for whom this award is named. Ben became Alan's mentor, teaching him about fundraising and community organization, and encouraging his career choices: Milwaukee, Columbus, Israel. According to Ben's daughter Judy, Alan was like a second son to Ben. So this award ceremony has special significance to Alan and to all of us as we think about this full circle of professional connection. I do remember Alan transforming the Columbus Federation under Alan's leadership. Columbus really did become a jewel of a federation. Alan is among a brotherhood of Federation executives, a generation whose life's paths were set in motion by the miracle of Israel. We understood what a privilege it was for us to serve in a community at a time of Jewish sovereignty, and we also came of age through the struggle for Soviet Jewry. We had an abiding belief in the power of Jewish peoplehood, and no one demonstrates that belief more than Alan. Alan is a man of principle, and he was always a passionately committed Zionist. So again, he translated that passion into action, and after 9 years of exceptional service in Columbus, he and his family made Aliyah in 1992 and planted deep roots in Eretz. Once in Israel at work for JDC, he founded the International Relations Division in Jerusalem, and as executive director of that division, he increased that organization's direct philanthropic revenue tenfold. Through his exponential increase in fundraising, Alan enabled JDC to expand its critically needed humanitarian assistance and Jewish community development activities in post-communist countries. He also brought the joint's expertise to bear to address growing social gaps in Israel, and today this constitutes some of JDC's most pivotal work. Alan is an innovator. Even before he was appointed CEO of JDC, Alan played a leadership role in launching many of JDC's flagship programs, from the Hunger Relief Campaign for impoverished elderly Jews in post-Soviet countries to the development of community centers for the renewal of Jewish life in those same countries. The creation of PACT, Parents and Children Together, an internationally recognized program for the education and cultural integration of Ethiopian Israeli preschool children and their parents. As CEO of the Joint, Alan crisscrossed the world, evangelizing for the notion of global Jewish responsibility, which he sees as being the core of Jewish people. Some folks say, Kol Yisrael Aravim Zel Hazeh. Alan lives it. Alan Gill is simultaneously an inspirer, a strategist, and a very patient listener. He brings out the best in lay leaders. When people hear him and spend time with him, they want to be involved and they want to help. In real estate, we are told location, location, location. In Alan's world and our work, when done right, it's relationship, relationship, relationship. He is a natural. I told you before of his fundraising. His fundraising is prodigious. It's in his professional DNA. Alan has always loved for fundraising, for the funds for the Jewish people, and And he wishes others would love fundraising as much as he does, and to understand that people raising and fundraising are inextricably linked. Alan also is a colleague with a deep sense of ethics, a pros pro who has raised the bar of Jewish organization practice very high. Our profession is in need of inspiring professional leaders, colleagues with courage. That's our Alan Gill, a proud and courageous Jewish professional who has set a standard for others to aspire. And that's why we love him and we honor him today with the Mandelkorn Award. This way?
Yeah, the box.
I got it, yeah.
The box. The box.
The box. You want us to stand? Good. Hello. Bless you all. Steve, what you left out is I almost didn't make it here today. Now, I don't mean I didn't make it to the GA here in Washington, but I almost didn't make it into our field. And I want to tell you my journey. I was in graduate school at Ohio State University. I grew up in a very Jewish home. I had a very full bar mitzvah, post-bar mitzvah, after-middle school education. I was not very active in Hillel at Ohio University, and drifted, as so many of us do. I was in graduate school at Ohio State, and there was a demonstration in downtown Columbus, organized by somebody here today who I'm going to surprise, Maroon Brockman from Columbus, who chaired the local Jewish Federation of Columbus's Soviet Jewry Committee. And a fellow student tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Are you going to the rally tonight?" He knew I was Jewish. I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "It's a rally for Soviet Jewry." And I said, "What are you talking about?" I didn't know. I went. My whole life changed. Kol Yisrael, Arvim Zelazeh, I am beyond passionate. It is who I am, Steve. It is what defines me as a Jew. And it is what defines my family as Jews. My family, whom I love, who are far away today. My beloved Rona, who's listening in, who couldn't be here. She's in Israel, coming soon. And this is the force that has guided me ever since then. I changed career directions. And Ben Mandlekorn, Zichrono Livracha, who recruited me, knew what he was doing. And my graduate school advisor, Professor Milton Nain, Zichrono Livracha, knew what he was doing. It was a conspiracy of two. Then joined by Fern Kegelman, our beloved Fern Kegelman, who ran personnel services of the Council of Jewish Federations, who conspired to get this young Fisher into the field. And I see so many beautiful young Fishers here. I know Steve answered. This is not patronizing. You are why we work to do what we do. The continuity of Jewish life and the continuity of all that we stand for and all that we care about. And I have been blessed to be guided by mentors, by big brothers. Daryl Friedman. Every one of us in the field needs one big brother to adopt him or her. Daryl did that in 1982. He made sure I stayed on the path. Never heard of him, didn't know him, reached out to me, said, "You're one of my boy chicks. I'm going to keep an eye on you." I joined the Sacred Club. Daryl, bless you. Also my predecessor in this role that I'm in.
and my advisor to this day. I was guided at the end of my career by one of the great Jewish professionals of all time. I'd like to ask everybody to please stand for a moment of silence. Ralph Isaac Goldman was born 100 years ago this year. Most of you never knew him. Shame on us, those leaders you depend upon to provide teaching, if you all don't know who he was. He passed away a few weeks ago at the age of 100. Still clear-minded. We celebrated his birthday twice earlier this year. He lived a full life. Please read his writings. Please learn his teachings. And please remember one of the great leaders of modern Jewish history, Ralph Goldman. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Yehi Zichrono Baruch. May his memory forever bless us and inspire us, which is all Ralph was about. I was blessed throughout the years with colleagues on whose shoulders I ultimately stood and I stand today, my joint colleagues, my colleagues in this business of ours. God bless you all. You inspire me. People whom we call lay leaders, I hate that term. Dear friends, great leaders, so many over the years, from Esther Leah Ritz, Leslie Wexner, Miriam and Bernie Aiken, Marone and Judy Brockman, others who've been part of my career, who have watched over me and asked me to help watch over them. Today, board leaders who are, I just love from JDC, represented here today by Penny Blumenstein, my dear friend and partner in this wonderful enterprise. The rest of you who chose to come, I thank you, Mikol Alev, from my heart. And my friends, now to the call for action. What are we going to do? This world today is in an absolute critical juncture I have not seen in my lifetime. The forces of goodness and progress clash so starkly with the forces of evil and regression. Are we suited up for it? Do we have the professional leadership we must have? This field is more complex, more demanding, at a time when the stakes have never been higher. So I ask all of you today to please join me in rededicating ourselves to nourishing, to recruiting, to making sure there are more young people like you, Sheila, and the others who are in this room, who are joining forces with us, who make bloody sure that the Jewish people shall indeed not only survive but thrive. I thank you on behalf of myself, on behalf of those who have supported me over the years, and I say to you, I am deeply grateful and deeply humbled. Bless you all.